Welcome, future Eagles. This is Bruce Fassbinder with the CTC Marketing Department, and this is our virtual info session for the month of September. We hope you're here to learn how you can soar with Eagles and get your education and career path started here at CTC. Joining me is down the row here is Lee Greenthaner. She is our videographer, and she's going to put this on YouTube later today. So if there's something that you didn't quite get or need to review later on, it'll be available on YouTube. Thanks to Lee. Then next to her is Barbara Merlo, the Director of Marketing. And on the lower part of the screen is Lucette. Lucette Brett,
Hi.
she's going to talk about financial aid and scholarship opportunities. In the middle is Matt Lyles, a professor in our mathematics department. And then we have Vicki Moultrie, a professor in our communications department. And today, all of us are going to share information on admissions, how to apply, academic advising, TSI testing, different degree programs, certificate programs, and all the things you need to get you started at CTC and kind of open up your eyes, even if you're not sure of what you want to do, where you want to be. Just know that you need to get the education path started. We're gonna get you down that first step. All right. So first of all, let's start with we have a brief overview program, video that we'll share with you, kind of talk about the different academic programs and so forth. And Barbara, I guess you're the one that's going to share that to start. All right.
So Barb, is this where you want me to start talking?
I'm not seeing anything on my end, so I'm hoping somebody else is seeing the screen share.
No, there's nothing up.
Okay, good. I'm glad it's not me. I apologize, folks. We've had some technical difficulties with the sharing aspect of our presentation. We'll get that squared away here in just a minute. And while Barbara's working on that, let me just kind of interject that this is an interactive session. So if there are questions that you might have over any of the material that's covered, feel free to type them in the chat if you're on WebEx or on Facebook. You can type them in there. We'll monitor from there as well. Also, if you're on WebEx, feel free when there's a natural break in the presentation to ask your question live. So either way it goes, we want to make sure that we get your questions answered. So don't hesitate to ask those questions if you have something that pops in your head while the presentation is going. So again, I think Barbara's still working on sharing that screen. We had all this working 2 minutes ago, folks. I swear we did. So anyway. Don't lose faith.
Barb, did you want me to share my screen?
You can give it a try, Vicki, and see if that'll work from your end.
Sure. She would have to stop sharing so I could share.
Okay.
Okay, I am not, hang on a minute. I'm not getting any controls here. So now I've got problems too. So this is fun. And ladies and gentlemen, this is live. It locked me like the yikes.
So while she's
There, I think I'm not sharing anymore. I don't know who did that, but that was great. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead and try it from your end, Vicki, and see if you can't share from your end.
Sure. Yes, I am. So I'm excited to talk to you about our academic programs and some of the things that you might consider as you're thinking about coming to CTC. So a lot of times we're not entirely sure when we get started what academic program we want to be in, or even what academic programs are available. So the very first start for anybody who is interested in the academic side of things and the courses that are offered and the degree plans that are available, the best place to start, and this is just off of the homepage, go to academics and programs of study, and this will let you explore our academic programs. Very briefly, I'm going to share a video with you that kind of gives an overview about areas of study, and then I'll come back and specifically focus on a few of them. And then we're very lucky today as well to have an instructor in the STEM program, which is all of those really great math and engineering and science courses for anybody who's interested in pursuing that. So I'll talk to you briefly about some of the humanities and arts programs, and then we'll come over and let him take it from there. So let me come quickly. This is just a brief video on the areas of study. I'm going to go ahead and play this.
Our job is to make college
Hold tight.
because students
Grammarly is very helpful.
As Barbara mentioned, that's the adventures of live television. There's no audio there.
It's all right. You can talk through it.
Sure, yes. So, so in this video, it's just the opportunity to kind of see how programs fit together. And oftentimes that one degree doesn't have to be the end of your degree. So stacking associate programs or looking at different programs that are intertwined can move you further ahead when you decide to head into, if you go to a four-year university, a lot of times degrees work together. Also, we have a lot of CTC programs and courses that will end in a degree that will get you work ready. So not every course, not every program is directly related to moving through to further education. Sometimes a degree in and of itself is the end point. So things like if you're interested in a technical program or you're interested in a technical degree, you can get that and then you're done. You go off and you start working in your field too. So choosing a path now is a good idea because you don't want to take courses that might not be what you're looking for in the future. And you don't want to stop sharing for a minute. I'll bring it back in a second and we'll go over looking at a few course programs. But you really want to kind of think about what program you want to be in and what your path is early on so that you're taking courses directly geared towards getting that degree that you're looking for. So a lot of times too, advising right very early on in your college career is so incredibly important because if you get somebody in advising and you can ask them which of these courses is going to work with my program, what courses should I be taking now, so that you don't end up taking courses that maybe didn't really fit with what you were hoping to do in your degree plan. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to share again briefly. And I'm just going to show you a few of the programs that are offered in the arts and humanities section. So
and while Vicky's doing that, like she said, our programs are set up in an academic course and a career course. And the career course is usually certificates of completion, and they are stackable. For example, as she said, if you complete one certificate and you feel like you need more education or you want more education, then you can take more classes and stack those classes toward an associate's degree. So that way you've got your certificate and then you're just building upon that, stacking upon that, working towards that associate degree. And in some cases that makes you a little bit more marketable to employers. So again, the certificate is designed to get you out there in the career path, get you out there in the working world. But again, make yourself a little bit more marketable, and sometimes a little bit more money is available with the associate degree as opposed to a certificate. So again, that's just another option the way those things are. And as Professor Moultrie mentioned, your academic advisor will help you steer you in that right direction, so you're not taking classes, wasting money on classes that will not transfer to that degree program, will not transfer to a four-year university if that's your goal, and make sure that you stay on that path to complete in the most efficient time and the most cost-efficient way for you to complete your degree program. So thank you.
And I will very definitely say that the people in advising are amazing. So we have so many resources here at CTC to help make sure that anybody who wants whatever education goals you have, somebody will help you get there. And it's really just everybody is very helpful. So ask the questions and go talk to somebody before you sign up for classes that you might find out really weren't something that you cared about, or maybe weren't even going to help. So I'm just going to go through a couple of these. So some of the degree plans or areas of study that we have: arts and humanities and media. So these are things like if you want a music degree. So if you're interested in teaching music in the future, getting a music degree and then going on to a university where you get your teaching certificate will give you the opportunity to be a music teacher, or the visual arts, so graphic designs, or any sort of visual art. We have a degree plan for that. Business is very popular. Lots of people come in and take our business programs because they're looking to move into the business world. They're looking to get management in their current place of employment. So business programs are very helpful. There's a video that goes with it that can kind of explain to you all of the different areas you could go with business. And then as well, the careers that you could, and you know, it's endless. So some of the careers that you might be interested in getting this degree. And then again, how the certificates, and if you are interested in certain programs, you just click on that. So let's say you want a marketing focus for your associates program. You just click on the business management and marketing, and it will bring you up all of the courses that you need to take in what order. And then in conjunction with an advisor, you pretty much know what you need to do for the next 2 years to walk off with a business management associates program with a specialization in sales management. So this is a very helpful website, because it really guides you and gives you an idea of what you're thinking about and what you should be thinking about before you start a program, so you know where you want to go. So doing a little bit of upfront research can help you so much in knowing what sorts of courses you'd be required to take, what sorts of what the degree path looks like, so how your courses would fit together and how you would be able to complete in 2 years. And again, if this fits with your career goals, so what sort of programs would be available, jobs would be available once you graduate. Some things in and of themselves are end degrees that get you into the workforce. So truck driving, welding, automotive, aviation, all of those, HVAC, all of those are in and of themselves. When you graduate, you are ready to go to work. Another very popular program is the healthcare program, and this is especially nursing. And this is a very specialized program that you have to apply separately to get into, because they have high requirements. So, but again, a very popular program. You can absolutely go on and get your bachelor's, or you can just stop here and become a nurse. So the nursing program is a great program here at CTC, and really for those of you interested in nursing, it is the shortest path to get you out into the field and working. And again, it's the same thing. If you want an associate's degree in nursing, you just click on this, and it'll bring up again all of the courses that you should take or complete to get through this program as well. There's lots of good information about looking at the video and reading through here to understand kind of what this looks like to you and how this might work if that's your goal. So this is a wonderful website, and I am going to let my counterpart take over and talk about some of the more popular programs with STEM. But this is a wonderful website to start with because it really helps you get a full view of what you should expect and what your next 2 years would look like with school. And then having known that, you can go off to advising. You can talk to those people, and they will help you to figure out how that works in your life. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to let my counterpart, Matt Lyles, explain about the STEM program, which is also very popular.
Wasn't planning to share my screen, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump right on out there.
I might be able, I'm going to try another video later, so we'll see what happens.
I'm in here. Y'all are seeing my screen okay?
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so to continue off of what Professor Moultrie was saying there, with the healthcare, the nursing is competitive. We have a very strong program. You don't start in the nursing program. You take some core classes up front, and then you apply to that. But so you want to get your be on your classes and be on your grades early because it's a competitive thing, and you're competitive coming out of school, certified, going into to work right away, which is an amazing thing. So I'm tasked with talking about STEM. So these pathways in general, I think it's important. I'm going to kind of reiterate here. You don't necessarily know, you don't need to know what your end goal is up front. You just need to kind of have an idea. It may be in this direction, and a pathway helps you do that. You say, oh, I'm interested in these things. There's a chunk of things all together, and I can take courses that are good for all of those until I figure out which one of those I want to be on, and you can still be efficient with the courses you're taking. So that's the whole point of this. When you get down here into the STEM section, there's lots of different ways that you can go. In the science department, they have an ag science area where they have equine studies, they have botany, they have all kind of different ways that you can go there. In their engineering department, we are focused, we prepare you to transfer to any four-year school. We actually have a partnership with Texas A&M Central Texas just down the road from us so that you can do 2 years with us, 2 years with them, and come out with a four-year engineering degree with significant savings over what it would cost in even a state school in state. And you get to stay local all at the same time. So if you're you don't have to pay to move and live in a different place for a few years. You can stay in your current residence and still get that degree locally. We have a new program down here with robotics, industrial control, and robotic technology. We just started that up here. We're working on building up internships in industry so that you can have experience coming out of school. We have both certificates and associate degrees available. All of the courses in across the STEM curriculum transfer very well to in-state schools. So you need to be aware that it's by taking the courses at CTC, like I'm in the math department, and if you take the calculus curriculum with us, the calculus sequence of courses, they transfer to literally any state school. They all accept our courses. You come in there by taking it with us. The classes are smaller. You get more individual instruction, and then you slide out and finish out wherever it is you choose to go. We have students that transfer all over, including UT and A&M and Texas Tech and UT Arlington, all these places, even and A&M Central Texas down the road. I didn't mention the programming and software development. Computer programming, computer science is huge, and there will continue to be a demand for that far out. So, I mean, you get to pick, what am I interested in? Click on the link. I'm a math person, so I click math. We have all of them have videos like this. And you may think that the only thing you can do with a math degree is to be a math teacher, and that's just not true. You may not know what an actuary is, but a quick Google search gets you there. But I can tell you, since we're here, what does an actuary do? An actuary works for insurance companies, financial companies, and basically they look at data and figure out probabilities of how they can invest their money for an insurance company to make sure that you're ready, that they have enough money set aside. They can calculate risks to say, we need to budget this much money in case somebody makes a claim here. The financial people obviously want to figure out how ways for people to maximize their investment in different companies. But there's all kind of different ways. If there's numbers involved, math can get you there. I'm going to quit selling my own department there. But that's got us there. There's lots of ways you can go is my point. So let me come back over here. I have no idea what I just did. There we go. So yeah, I would say pick a pathway that looks interesting to you, that you think you might want to pursue a career in, and look at it. And like Professor Moultrie said, talk to a counselor. They know some stuff. Sometimes there are some courses that are only offered in the fall. Like for the engineering program, you have to take a physics course. And in University Physics 1 is only offered in the fall. If you don't talk to a counselor, you might think, I'll just take that in the spring, and that's just not an option. It ends up taking you longer to get your courses done. So good communication makes this more effective. We are here to help you as a group, and utilize every one of us. We're here to help.
And I wanted to toss in that for people who really are absolutely undecided with what they want to study, the default is, well, I just want to do general studies and get my basics. But if you take a minute and go to the Career Center or contact them, they have some diagnostic tools. You can take a test, and it'll basically tell you what you probably already knew, what your aptitudes and skills are. It determines kind of what you like to do and what you're good at, combines those into a recommendation for some potential careers. So, yeah.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. If there are no questions in the chat, we'll move on. We talked about the degrees and certificates available, but first things first, how do you apply? What do you do to get admitted to CTC? Well, we have an online application. We're an open school, so all you have to do is apply and you will be accepted here to CTC. And even if you just apply to CTC and you're still not sure what you want to do, at least if you apply, your application is on file and you're one step ahead of everybody else. So an application is not a commitment to CTC. If you should change your mind and want to do something completely different, join the military or move out of state and go to another school, or go immediately into the workforce and say, I'll come back to school later. But again, putting that application online is a great start. And like I said, you're one step ahead of everybody, and you're on in our system and on file. So when you do make that choice to come to school, we'll have your information handy. So again, Barbara, I'm not sure who is going to talk about through the admissions video or admissions process, but since
I'll take it.
Since Jeff's not here, thank you.
Okay, so really it's as simple as what Bruce said. It is a free online application. You can go to this page on your mobile device and actually apply right on your phone. We go to events sometimes and tell students that, and then they'll come by about 15 minutes later and say, I'm done. But the application, all the application information you're going to find underneath our prospective students navigation, and that does include, there's multiple steps. It's not like high school or, elementary school. If you go register kids, where you walk through the door, you bring your paperwork, you say, okay, I'm here. And they say, okay, here's your schedule. There's a little bit more to it than that. And so you have to be aware of the processes. And I know financial aid is going to talk in a bit, but really right now is a great time to start planning for spring. Because when everybody waits until the last minute, there are very long lines. So September, October, I always tell students, September, October is the best time to apply and get your financial aid taken care of and everything. But if you go to the prospective student getting started, it gives you a little overview of what you actually do, kind of some steps. But right here is where you go to learn about the application for admission. And this also is going to give you some information about some of the things that the state requires us to do as far as bacterial meningitis and immunizations, and then how to do specific things for the admissions. There on this page is a video that walks you through the application step by step. It is not very long, but if you are a visual learner, it's a great place to do it. If you prefer to come in and talk to somebody, if you want to get your application done and then go ask questions about admissions and the processes and things like residency and how do we determine your tuition rate, you could do that. But the actual application is always going to be right up here at the top of your screen, and you're going to go into this page, you're going to create an account, and once you create that account, you'll proceed with your applying to Central Texas College. Again, free, fast. You may get some emails or text message follow-ups asking you for additional information. Usually they're related to things like residency, because our tuition rate is based on how we classify you as an in-district resident, out-of-district resident, or out-of-state resident. So, but that's more detail than you need right now. Right now, you just need to click the little red button and apply. Bruce, I think that'll do it for admissions, unless anybody has a question.
Okay, well, while we got you, Barbara, let's talk about once you apply and you get accepted to CTC, there's some things you have to go through, like TSI testing, for example, to kind of show you where you stand in math and English and writing and those kind of things. They're just their tests to kind of give us an idea, give yourself an idea of where you should be placed if you need some help with math, or if you're ready to jump right into calculus or college algebra or whatever, or if you need some assistance with some writing courses and those kind of things. And so, Barb, if you can kind of touch on the TSI testing part just briefly, that would be great.
I sure can. And I'm not going to try to share the video, but we do have a video for that too. I do want to share a video to see if I could get it to work, because it's a little frustrating. But if we go back to this page, the Texas Success Initiative is really a placement test. It's not an entrance exam. It's a placement test. There are people who don't have to take this test. There are exemptions and waivers. But a lot of the information is here, and the video is here that gives you a little bit about the test. And really the most important thing about this test is that you can prepare for it. It's going to look at your skills in English and math, and some of us might not remember math if the last time you took math was 3 or 4 years ago. But if you take a little bit of time to do the practice test and prepare a little bit, it may make the difference between you going straight into a college level math class or taking a developmental math class. And what those classes look like now, and maybe Matt Lyles, can you explain the paired classes? You could probably do that better than
I sure can. So if you do score well enough on your TSI, then that's the placement test that they're talking about there. Then you go straight into courses that count towards your degree plan. If you don't, then they've come up with a new thing where you have to do what's called a paired course, where you take a developmental course and a regular math course simultaneously. The thing to remember with that is that's 2 courses, which means that's 6 credit hours, and that's going to be a big chunk of your schedule. You know what I mean? So what we were talking about with trying to prepare for the TSI test is helpful. If you can score better on it, then that's good. It will help you to move down your degree path quicker. But so you take a paired courses, you take a developmental course and a regular math course at the same time. And so you get individualized instruction kind of in both, where we have several different ones. You can do it for college algebra or statistics or contemporary math. So depending on what your requirements are for your degree, we have one that hits your degree path. But it's going to be 6 hours, 6 credit hours of your schedule to make that happen. If you score high enough, you only take a 3 credit course, and it's
And some people want to take extra math, but not everyone, certainly.
Sure.
But here's
Much
some
to
of the
Matt's
waivers
chagrin.
down here, so you can see if any of these apply to you. Military and veterans have a waiver. They don't have to take the TSI, but really, when you speak with an advisor, they will definitely advise you to take the TSI if you've not, especially with math. With math, but also with any of it, because this test is called a Texas Success Initiative for a reason. It helps you not fail the first math or first English class that you take. And if it's been a bit since you've been in school, don't underestimate the amount you have forgotten, or don't overestimate the amount of preparation you might have to go to refresh your knowledge a little bit. So, any other TSI questions that I can answer?
I don't see any in the chat here. But once you've done and you're in the process of doing that, and you got your acceptance letter and you've got all your paperwork in and you're accepted to CTC, and then you need to decide which courses you want to take, and the way to do that, as we've mentioned several times, is through academic advising. And I've just put their email in the chat, academic.advising@ctcd.edu. And that's just one way to reach them. They can be reached also by phone at 254-526-1226. And we'll add that here in the chat shortly. And also they have a live chat feature. If you go to the academic advising webpage, they will, you can sign up. I'll put that in the chat so you can follow along if you want. And then you can try to get in with a live person, live chat. And if the person is not available live, it goes to email automatically. So someone will very quickly get your question and get you the help that you need. And the live chat is available Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and on Friday, 7:30 to 11:30 a.m. So again, and also if you're out of state, we have live chat feature available Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. through our Eagles on Call. So again, we have multiple ways for you to meet academic advising. You can set up an appointment live. You can talk to them in person, or do a walk-in, or set up through their email and get yourself squared away and get the advising that you need. And again, the advisor is going to help you stay on path on your degree plan so you can finish quickly, finish more cost effectively for you, and make sure that you're in a path that's going to transfer to meet your end goal. Okay, so that's the key there for academic advising. And as Matt mentioned and several others mentioned, there are classes that are only offered certain times throughout the semester or throughout the year. So we want to make sure that you know which classes are available. If you're signing up for spring class, you need to know which classes are available in the fall only or spring only, and that kind of thing. So again, the academic advisors can help you with that. All right, and once
hey,
you've
Bruce,
yes,
I want to mention that the advisors are actually like the second step. Your first step is to get through the admissions process, because
Yes.
when you do the admissions, then you do the testing. The advisor isn't really going to be able to advise you until you do the testing, because they don't know if you need to take 6 credit hours of math or 3 credit hours of math. So do you want to talk a little bit about student support, or do you want me to, and then we can probably get
go for it, and I'll
financial.
just add in. We do offer some great student support. So Barbara, go ahead, since you brought it up, and we'll just plug in.
I'm going to try again to share a video, and the reason that I am giving you that intro warning is because the last time I shared a video, I got kicked out of the WebEx. So I'm gonna stop showing my video, and hopefully that'll help. But let me know if it is working once I get it shared.
Yep.
You may have enrolled as
There we go.
Once you become a student at Central Texas College, you're not alone. We have a variety of support services and resources to support you and help you succeed. CTC's Academic Studio Student Success Center is a one-stop shop for all your student needs. Students can receive academic advising in person and online tutoring and participate in study groups. Qualified students can take advantage of textbook lending and childcare assistance. As a college student, you'll spend a lot of time in the library. and ours offers a variety of services and resources to help keep you on track. Students can get help writing research papers and submit them for review free of charge. You can bring your own laptop or borrow one of ours, and if you need a quiet place to study, rooms are available on a first-come, first-served basis. If you have questions, the Ask a Librarian email service is available 24 hours a day. Or if you need immediate responses to your questions, the live chat and text service can help. Bad at math? You're not alone. We offer a math lab that provides assistance with everything from college algebra to calculus. And if you need more help with math or any other subject, we offer online tutoring by appointment for up to 2 hours per day. Students with a qualifying documented disability can receive reasonable academic accommodations to include extended testing time, separate testing areas, note takers, and sign language interpreters. Please visit our webpage or visit us in person for more information. Worried about your options after you graduate? We've got you covered. Our Career Center offers career counseling, employment and recruitment services, job fairs, and more. And if you're not quite sure what career you'd like to pursue, use the Career Assessment tool to help you identify what you're good at and what careers are best suited for you. College can be overwhelming, but we are here to help. The Substance Abuse Resource Center offers individual and group counseling as well as information on how to deal with stress. Eagles may fly alone, but at CTC, we soar with you.
Wow, it worked.
You got it.
So, yeah, and that video really says it all. But just, there's so many students that I see who've been here for a year and didn't know that any of that exists. So, be sure and ask questions and get connected with your professors and with your peers, because, all this is free. All this support that you can get to succeed academically doesn't cost you anything. You're paying for it with your very, very small amount of tuition that we collect. So.
Yeah, and the academic studio, for those who are interested, is in the second floor of our student center, building 220. And again, they take walk-ins and they take appointments, and they offer tutoring in a vast variety of subjects, from nursing to math to different sciences and so forth. So, and if there's a subject that you need help with and they don't have a tutor, they will find you a tutor. And so take advantage of the academic studio. They're a great bunch of people and definitely helpful. And the library offers online databases, also in-person help. So again, the library is an awesome resource to help you with research papers and kind of avoid that plagiarism thing. They have databases to help you avoid that and make sure that you're online with what your teacher wants, your professor wants, and those kind of things. So they are a great tool as well. So as Barbara mentioned, we've got a variety of options there that are free, and they're there for your benefit. Okay. So anything else on student support services, Barbara, that you think we need to touch on?
No, I think we moved to financial aid, because that's probably, besides the admissions application, that's the next thing you need to do, because
right.
it's all about the money.
Exactly.
Right?
That was exactly where I was
That's
going. You've applied, you've got your advising, and now how are you going to pay for school? And to help us decide that, Lucette Brett is going to help us with financial aid and scholarship opportunities.
We have options, lots and lots of options. So I do have a PowerPoint to share, but before we do that, I wanted to talk about some of the things that some of the other instructors were speaking about, including the degree plans and the stacking. So when you decide on what your degree plan is, money may be an issue. So pay close attention to what we're about to go over here, because you can't just decide one minute, oh, well, I think I'm going to do engineering. And you get in there and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not cut out for this piece. So you want to change your degree plan. You can't always do that when you're set up with financial aid. So please pay close attention to what we're about to go over, and that will save you a lot of heartache down the road, I feel certain.
So do you want me to go ahead and share it?
Please, let's just go ahead and do this. Absolutely.
Right.
So financial aid is pretty complicated, but we're going to try to break it down for you in an easier format here. And we have a lot of choices, so we're going to try to cover most of them as quickly as we can this evening. Can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. Okay, so as I mentioned before, there's lots of sources. There's grants, there's work study, there's student loans, there's scholarships, and we're going to touch base on a few of those. And one of the biggest things that you have to do first and remember first was that application process that Barbara was talking about. It's that first step, and that is the FAFSA. So what is the FAFSA? It's a free application for federal student aid. And it's going to encompass your Pell Grant and the direct loans, but it also helps us to determine other forms of aid that you may or may not be eligible for the state of Texas. Okay, so it takes your income from 2 years ago. For example, right now we're in the 21-22 school year. All of the aid that's based for this year is coming from 2019. So if you've had something that's totally changed your life, your income is totally different than it was 2 years ago, we do have special circumstance forms that you will need to contact the financial aid office about. But generally, your progression is about the same every year. So this next year, and it's coming soon, we're halfway into September, October 1st is coming up, and the next academic year FAFSA is going to be available. You're going to need your 2020 tax and income information for that. And also one thing to remember, and this is a toughie, I know that a lot of you may have your own jobs, your own apartment, everything, but the U.S. Department of Education says if you are 24 or younger, you are still part of your parents' family, and they ask for that information. There are some exceptions, such as if you are military, if you're married, if you support a child all your own, things like that, then you would be an independent student. But for the most part, until you're 25, that's the way the federal government sees us. Okay. It's expensive. It can stack up quick. I know this is the best place in the world to get an education because I started my educational career right here back when the dinosaurs roamed. But it's still, a book is a lot more expensive now than it was then. So make sure that when you're thinking about everything you need to try to itemize a list, there's all kinds of resources online that can help you do that too. And here's a little example of costs. You've got your tuition and fees, books, room and board, transportation, personal and miscellaneous. So, and notice medical expenses aren't even on there. So that's something you might want to figure in too, because you can bet your bottom dollar when you fill that FAFSA out, that's what the federal government is banking on. They're looking at all of those different pieces of just general everyday life.
That's for a year, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's on campus. And that's resident. That's a Texas resident. So if you go to the next slide, this is non-resident. So you can see that big jump in tuition. Again, something to consider. The transportation, it should be about the same. But okay. I don't know why that flipped. Oh, there we go. So they also mentioned before ways that you can see what your new career is going to be like when you do finally get that certificate or degree. And at texasrealitycheck.com, they have some ways to explore what your lifestyle is going to be like. How are you going to fund that lifestyle? So this is something that you can go in. They have an occupation calculator, what you're going to need to know, and ways to help you plan. It's a good start. Okay, so there's federal aid, there's state aid, there's institutional aid, there's scholarships, there's grants for COVID relief even. So that's going to let me talk about the ARP grant. I'm not sure if anybody else is scheduled to do that, but that's what's consuming a lot of my time. So as long as you are registered for one class, you are eligible for this grant. And this type of grant, it is not based on your income or the FAFSA. So make sure that you log in to the website and check that out. It's going to be off of the main web page. COVID return to campus, and it will guide you step by step on what you need to do. And if not, you can always contact the financial aid office and we'll be glad to help you with that.
Oops.
Okay, so we have the Pell Grant and we have the federal grants that are available. That's one item. Remember that grants don't have to be repaid. And again, it is based on income, that family contribution. So about the number to get a Pell Grant is one of those big questions. If you make over $6,000 for your federal contribution, chances are you're not eligible for a Pell Grant, but you will be eligible for loans. And student loans, they have to be repaid, unfortunately. They can be overwhelming. So if you don't have to take out a loan here at CTC, and we do our very best to accommodate you so that you don't, and you want to save it for going on down the line to that bachelor's degree for that engineering, you're going to need them then. So it's always best if you don't have to borrow the money and you can pay for your tuition and expenses without it, don't borrow the money. Only borrow what you need. We do have a work study program. And if there's something that you've seen on campus and you've noticed students working at it and you would feel like be a good candidate for that, again, you still have to have applied for the FAFSA to be eligible for the work study program. So make sure that you get that in early. We have almost every department, I think, on campus is eligible for work study students, and it's something that may possibly lead into a career later on if you enjoy it. State and institutional aid. So if you're a Texas resident, you may possibly be eligible for grants too. And it varies for each school. So not only, CTC, we have our own programs. We have a foundational scholarship. We have Eagle Aid. We have lots of things to help students in need. So make sure that when you are perusing the website, we do have a whole scholarship section on there. And sometimes there's actually your own content area, like the nursing program or the welding program. You just have to be creative when you're searching to find those grants out there. Competitive, that does mean that they want you to make good grades. And that's another thing for Title IV funds, which is what my financial aid section of the student services does. Title IV funding is your Pell Grant and your direct loans and some of your other grants. You have to maintain a 2.0 GPA and you have to complete your courses. A lot of students forget that complete your courses part. It does matter. So if you have to drop, you have to be very careful about when you drop a class and how that's going to affect you. So make sure that you get with your professors and keep up with those studies, because once you do that, you could be put on a warning or you may even be suspended from your financial aid. Again, the FAFSA is free. Every year they come out in October, and that's for the following academic year. So if you haven't filled out a FAFSA yet and you want to start this month, it's not that it's too late to do it, but you're a little bit behind, so make sure you get in there and get that done. You can list up to 10 colleges on your FAFSA. That does include Texas A&M Central Texas, that's right up the road from us. We do have consortium agreements with Texas A&M. So if you feel like, well, I don't want to stay at CTC. I don't want to do a degree there. I want to look at A&M Central Texas. Well, A&M Central Texas, their bachelor's degree programs, some of the courses that you have to graduate with their bachelor's, you still have to come here and visit with us because we offer those courses. And that's very important to know. Even if you don't think you're eligible, apply. okay? Because that opens up a lot of doors for you. And a lot of colleges will send you emails and possibly other opportunities for their types of aid that they have. And every university has their own system of scholarships as well. So be mindful of that.
Hey, I want to add, as a parent who looked at the packages that came from the colleges, pay careful attention because the college is going to send you the amount that you need to pay for their college. But please pay attention to how big the loan portion is.
Absolutely. That is very
Some
important.
people think my school is paid for. See, look, they're going to give me all this money. Well, they're not giving you some of it. Some of it you got to pay back.
Absolutely. So CTC has their own foundation scholarships, and those applications open up January through February, and that's the only time that they're open. So anytime you go to any school, you want to make sure that you pay close attention to those deadlines. Be aware of scams. They're out there. They target students. If they require a fee or guarantee you're going to get so much money, I wouldn't trust that. I would make sure that I go to the university and speak with someone in financial aid. Absolutely.
So in other words, if it sounds too good to be true, be cautious.
It probably is exactly right. Okay, so never give up on the process, your options, or your dreams. I know that it can seem overwhelming because even here at CTC, you do have to pay tuition and fees, but we will do everything we can to assist you in finding those avenues. We do have veteran services available. They're right upstairs. If it's something that I can't help you with, I revert back to the student success and persistence because that is an amazing hub here. I can't say enough about that. And like I said before, you got to be careful with those degree plans and your financial aid. Your financial aid. One other word of caution: some of the programs, the certificates for, I'll use welding as an example. You have to complete one course before you can start your next course. For student loans, you must be enrolled in at least 6 hours before the loans will release. So you must plan accordingly when you start your term because Title IV funding has rules and it has to begin and end in the term. So that means you need to start as soon as you can in a term so that you get up to that 6 hours and those loans will release. If not, make sure that you're prepared to pay out of pocket ahead of time for those courses before your financial aid kicks in if you're not eligible for Pell. That's very, very important. So be mindful of that.
And what are the terms?
They have to, courses must begin and end within the term. So for fall, it started August 16th and your class has to finish by December 31st for Title IV funds to be covered. That does not mean the ARP grant that's available, which is amazing. It's $1,000 grant if you're taking anywhere from 3 hours to 11 hours. So if you're taking a couple of classes that do finish, but you have one more that you can start, but it finishes in January, that grant could possibly pay for that class for you. The other issue is that you must meet those SAP requirements, which means you have to have a 2.0 GPA and you must have a 67% completion rate.
Great. All right. Thank you, Lucette.
Oops.
We appreciate that. If anyone else has questions or says don't be afraid to ask questions, Lucette will be online tomorrow at 10 a.m. discussing more financial aid opportunities and the October 1st deadline and FAFSA and so forth. So if there's any other questions that you may have or you may think of later about financial aid, join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. on CTC's Facebook page, and Lucette will cover a lot more financial aid information during that time. So again, we appreciate Lucette and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time tonight.
All right. So now that we've learned how to pay for college and we're taking classes, next comes the so-called fun stuff. Student life here on campus, we have numerous clubs and organizations that are kind of on hiatus right now, and we're trying to jumpstart them again and get them kicked off. And you can visit our Student Life webpage and see what clubs we have available. If there's not a club that you're interested in and you don't see it on that list, there's a way to initiate a club. So there's a method to that as well online about getting a club started. So, and there's also many other options and opportunities here on campus to mingle, mix with your peers, and have some fun in between classes. Anderson Campus Center has been a hub for student gatherings. Also, the Student Center, it offers billiards and video games and pool and those kind of things where students kind of get together and hang out for a bit. And those kind of things. So there's many opportunities to network and mix and mingle with your peers and just relax after a class and get ready for that next class. So again, those options are out there. So we love it when you come to class. We want you to go to class because that's the whole purpose of being here. But at the same time, we want you to have an outlet. We want you to have some fun and get involved with the community through our clubs and organizations, get involved with your school through Student Government Association, those kind of things, and just relax in between classes so you're not just burning yourself out over and over again day after day. So again, we offer a wide variety of student activities for you here. And we have, for example, many people don't know we have a choir and a band. If you're musically inclined, we have a choir and a band, and we'd love to have you as part of that. But they offer concerts throughout the semester. So in between classes, chill, sit back at the gazebo area in the wide open area there and enjoy free music. They have we have our arts. We have right now there are several artists on display in Temple. We have an art exhibit opening up tomorrow, as a matter of fact, in our upstairs gallery at the library. And there'll be an artist reception on the 16th at Thursday at 4 o'clock. So meet the artist, talk to him about the exhibit that he's got. So there's different outlets all throughout the semester. And we encourage you to check our events calendar on our news page and see what we have to offer. The library hosts many virtual events. We host virtual events. We're getting back to more in-person events and those kind of things. So check that events calendar and see what we have coming up. And there might be something of interest for you and something, again, that you can pass the time away in between classes, or just say, as I said before, as stress relief, just those things and just things that perk your interest. So again, take advantage of what we have to offer here at CTC. All right. Having said all that,
Hey,
Barbara.
Bruce.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I was wondering if you mentioned clubs, and we do have a CTC Live about some of the clubs we have on campus on Wednesday, right?
That is tentative right now. We have that may have to be postponed for a later date, unfortunately. So
Okay.
we will post that for sure in social media if that's going to happen. But right now, it looks like it's going to be postponed to a later date. So
Okay. Well, let me just give a plug, especially for student clubs and organizations. You can't underestimate the value of having peers to talk to about, questions you're having, classes you're taking, professors you're taking or don't want to take. Every professor isn't for everyone, and if you don't have a peer to talk to about it, sometimes you're not going to get that kind of information. It also, those clubs and organizations really help you broaden your outlook. I mean, we are a very diverse campus, diverse racially, diverse ethnically, diverse culturally, and if you're, when you're on your own, you're with your own little circle of people. But when you get involved in student organizations, you're going to have all ages, all races, political. It is a wonderful opportunity to kind of mirror what happens in the workplace. You don't choose who you work with. The people you work with are the people that you work with, and it gives you an opportunity to really get a different perspective than you do if you just hanging out with friends. And trust me, these people will become your friends regardless of how different you are, because that's just the nature of when you're united in a common purpose, which is what happens with a club when you're doing service projects or learning things related to a field. So I really do recommend.
Definitely. And in the chat there, I put the Student Life organizations link and also the link to our events calendar. And that way you can kind of get the scoop on what's coming up in the next couple of months. And that's an ever evolving document. We keep adding events to that calendar. So right now it's what it is, but tomorrow there may be 3 or 4 new events coming down the road. So again, I don't see any questions in the chat. And Lee, I'm not sure if you're monitoring Facebook, if you have any questions on your end or comments.
There are no questions on Facebook.
Okay, great. Thank you. So again, last words of wisdom from Barbara, if you'll just throw a nugget or a gem for a last word of wisdom.
Oof, that's a lot of pressure.
I know.
I guess all I got is get started. You know, you're not going to go anywhere until you get started. So get started with CTC is a great place to start. You may not know what you want to do. You may not know if you can do it, but you get here and you navigate it and you take advantage of the support. And next thing you know, you'll have that job of your dreams. And you'll have a lot of fun in the process.
And to piggyback on that, my last word of wisdom is once you get started, and again, as Barbara said, you may not know where you want to go, but CTC is a great place to help you figure it out and a very cost-effective way to help you figure it out. Instead of wasting money at a big 4-year school and taking classes you're really not sure that you're interested in, or taking the core classes at a 4-year university, take those core classes with CTC. They transfer to those 4-year universities, and they're much more affordable here, and they help you figure out where it is exactly you want to be career-wise and education-wise. So again, CTC is a great place to start, a very affordable place to start, and it's a great melting pot to help you kind of get acclimated and network and just get things started for you or a career change for you. So again, we appreciate your time and thank you all for being here. And one last reminder, this session will be available on YouTube later. So if there's something about financial aid or one of the admissions or the academic certificate programs that we covered that you have questions about or you weren't sure or you joined us late, need to review, we'll have it available on YouTube probably tomorrow. So you can refer to it then and always use it as a resource. So again, we thank you for your time, for being here. We'll have another session next month, and we'll have some other CTC lives coming up, which Veteran Services will be coming up in next month, the second Thursday in October, and financial aid will be on tap tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. once again on Facebook. So if you have questions about financial aid and paying for school, Lucette will be with us once again. So again, thank you all so much for being here. Have a great night, and we look forward to seeing you on campus.